Let's talk about drop shipping.
As I was writing this video, I had so many opinions on dropshipping and it kept getting put off, and I thought maybe dropshipping's kind of already hitting its own natural end, so I don't maybe need to be talking about it or helping kind of, you know, put information to better inform people out there. And then I started to see people talking about TikTok Shop and how products that had been sold to them were not as described, and that they were essentially getting duped all over again, which is one of my gripes with dropshipping. So I'm making this video somewhat for TikTok Shop, somewhat for just the regular kind of dropshipping space. And if you were thinking about getting into it, if you were curious about it, if you'd like to loathe it with me, let's talk about it. So, to start, there's a lot of videos that talk about why dropshipping is great, or the benefits to it, or why it's blah blah blah, or this or that, or making 10K a month in side hustle and 5 minutes of work, and all from my laptop in Bali. I'm going to tell you why dropshipping blows to start. Upfront cost, you got to build a website, you got to spend money on ads just to see if it works. Say, hey, I built my site, I did my ads, I found a scrunchie that is 2 cents on AliExpress and I sell it for $3. And the supplier has agreed to drop ship it, so I just send them the order and they send it right to the people. Yay. You found an item that works. This is how I wrote it. Oh no! Someone saw your success and went to the same factory that is selling your products and is willing to do it for less. You're selling them for a couple bucks, they're going to sell them for $1. They still only cost pennies to make, but now they're undercutting you. And there's no brand to fall back on, so what do? Do you either pick a new item or then you discount more, and then it's a race to the bottom, and at one point do the margins get so little that, what are you doing? And then you're not holding any inventory. The factory's holding inventory. And you know what? Even with drop shipping, the manufacturers are still rewarding volume. So if you can't order in the higher volumes to get that lower price, then a competitor that has more volume than you is going to be able to go even further down and lower that price to cut you up. You're basically doing their product testing for them. And again, you guys are just trading commodities that maybe have been under leveraged. You have nothing defendable. There's no reason I'm going to pick you over that other brand if I were in the space to be shopping on a website that I did not know and did not trust. So not only in this space, highly competitive because there's no manufacturing or kind of hardware side to it. It's all just building things digitally. There's really low ownership. You're not trying to build anything that of lasting value. So these things just spring up, and as fast as you can get something up, somebody else is going to get something up even quicker, and somebody will see something that's working. All those apps or programs that are out there that tell you what items on Amazon can be flipped for more, and you do that arbitrage, that only works if you're the one doing it and there's not a lot of other people doing it, because then that gap, that white space in the market gets eaten up by all those people, and everybody has to move on to something else. People in drop shipping like to say they're operating on borrowed time. The space does not lend itself to long-term success. I had that from an article I had seen, and I think it's really true. They're on borrowed time. Because you're not building anything of lasting value. In a perfect world, somebody saw your product and is okay with the price, and then that's kind of the end of the relationship between you and the customer. 4, I haven't been numbering these, but number 4, you don't touch the inventory. It arrives to the customer in whatever the factory wanted to send. If you were trying to do something related to or resembling a brand, you're all of a sudden losing a whole lot of control over what the customer is getting around that actual product that you were selling to them. It puts you in a tough spot too if, like I was saying earlier, people are getting things on TikTok that aren't as they had been described to them, because maybe the factory made a mix-up, maybe the factory is pulling over one on you, but somewhere along the way somebody's getting something that they didn't want, and then you're stuck with the returns, because a lot of times these factories will not do the returns. Piling on top of that, since there is no long-term customer relationship, you're constantly looking for new customers. Your whole strategy is customer acquisition. Retention is essentially non-existent. And as some other videos on YouTube will tell you, that retention is always the better play than straight customer acquisition, because the costs are way better and your efficiencies are way higher. So the fact that a standout feature of this method of operating is living in only customer acquisition is ridiculous. I think another really icky thing about dropshipping is just how many people sell courses on it, which should tell you just how icky the space is. There's, of course, people selling courses on everything, but I feel like the ickier the space, the more people there are selling you on how to do a thing in that space and telling you how successful they are at it, only to sell you a $30 course, not to actually be successful at the thing. What nobody selling a course has really addressed is that the more they sell the course, or if there was any validity to the course would stop working the moment too many people signed up for it. If a course is pointing 100 people towards this one factory, this one category, selling this one item or these types of items, all of a sudden the market will get flooded with all of those drop shippers speculating on all the same products. The factory is going to love the orders, but if you're trading on price, you guys are all killing each other in a race to the bottom till your margins are non-existent, assuming everything goes well, and then God forbid you have any returns. They're on you, and you're out that money and stuck with a whole bunch of junk that you don't want. And they'll just sell that course again and again, or maybe they'll tweak it to talk about a different product or a different category. The same thing with the app, with the software that finds, undervalued or poorly margined items. It does not take into account volume, and these apps stop becoming useful when too many people use it. If Google Maps found the best route from point A to point B and did not take into account how many people it sent on that route would only be the theoretical best way to go. It would not be the actual best way to go. What they do is that they don't send everybody down the exact same freeway at the exact same time. Even if they're going to similar places, they'll make sure that when they've sent too many, they'll send them to another route, or they'll find another way there. And these softwares, you see them, they look amazing and they promise you a lot of things, but much like the courses, they're just trying to get your money, and then you figure out how to make your money. They're just selling you the tool that they're selling to everybody so that you all can be digging in the exact same spot. You might be asking, well, if I'm not doing drop shipping, then what am I going to do? Boy, do I have a course for you. No. This is what you should do if you wanted to do something along those lines. 1, start some kind of print on demand. I know that it feels very similar to the drop shipping, but trust me, it's different. And focus on brand building. Focus on something more long term, and you are using print on demand to kind of facilitate that brand mission that you have established. And you will eventually move away from the print on demand, but that actual brand you're building, whatever that reason for being, that's going to stay the same. That's what is, if I had to sum all of this up into one sentence, that's really what's missing from dropshipping. Dropshipping is just solving the manufacturing side of things, but it's only half of a solution. It's only half a company. The other half is all the stuff that has nothing to do with manufacturing. It's the rest of the company, and everybody tries to sell you drop shipping as if it's the whole company. And I see threads on Reddit where people are in drop shipping subreddits talking about, why haven't I gotten any sales? I have this awesome product, it's an awesome price, and no, people keep coming to my site and nobody's buying. It's like, yeah, they go to your site because they maybe clicked on an ad that looked interesting, and then they realize, what the heck is this site? We've been burned too many times as a people. We've learned to train our brains to seek out these unsafe websites in the very same way that kids growing up with television can tune out ads, and it doesn't even faze them. They're not tricked by the ad anymore. They're not like, what is the program back? Oh my goodness, Wendy's? They know it's an ad. It doesn't faze them. I go to a site and I go, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know this site. I'm not giving them my money. I'm just going to go look on Amazon for the same thing because at least I trust Amazon. There is a third party escrowing the deal if I don't trust the vendor, which is a good spot that Amazon has put themselves in, and I'll talk about that in a second. But anyways, work on something print on demand. Figure out what it is your business is. Figure out a real business, something that people are going to care about. Find something that you care about. Because something that you care about and the niche that you want to speak to, there's probably other people that have that niche, and the internet is going to allow that cohort to form, no matter how niche. Print on demand has very little upfront cost. You don't pay for anything until somebody orders it. It's your own designs. The shirt or the mug is merely a medium to get whatever that core message is across. And then, because you've done that lift before you even get started, you start connecting with people above and beyond just the quick sale. So if somebody comes in and tries to do the exact same thing you're doing, you've built some kind of a customer base that knows you and trusts you and has a relationship with you, and somebody else cannot just take that. If I've been going to Hot Topic to buy, or not Hot Topic, the other one, Box Lunch to buy some kind of shirt or Winnie the Pooh Loungefly bag for X amount of years, and it's my jam, and I always go there to buy my Winnie the Pooh and Disney branded stuff. I have a certain association, a certain trust, a certain expectation, and if I were to walk by, I don't know, Claire's in the mall, and all of a sudden they have a pop-up that looks incredibly similar to what I normally see at Hot Topic, I'm not going to go in and go, oh my goodness, it's like a third of the price. How amazing. Now, you might lose some people, but by and large, Claire's is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting to convince you that you're getting something of comparable value, that you're showing up just as much as Hot Topic was showing up. And it's that kind of, it's the same company, but Box Lunch. That's the brand. That's the insulation that the brand gives you, and it's that work that's around the product that becomes your secret sauce. Now you might be saying, I don't want to do that. I don't want to build a brand. I don't want to do any of that nonsense. I don't care. I want to make shirts that say it's wine o'clock somewhere, and I could give two cahoots about who's buying it, why they're buying it. I don't even like wine. And you know what? Fine. To each their own. But I will say there is still a better option than print on demand if you want to just hawk something. You want a pencil sharpener that floats. You saw it on Alibaba. What have you. Amazon. Go to Amazon. At least with Amazon, the customer has been prepped. They've been trained that if they're buying something at a ridiculously low price, that they know not to ask too many questions about where it's coming from. And there's a layer of security that if something goes terribly, terribly wrong, Amazon is going to handle it, offer a refund. There's some kind of middle person. You're not just some random website. They most likely already have their payment information saved on Amazon. it's a lot of trust that you're parlaying from them to your product. And then you can advertise on Amazon's platform. You can work to get your listings up. You can engage affiliates that will make Amazon pages. You can do the whole playbook without having to set anything up. And honestly, why would you do it any other way if that's all you want to do is hawk stuff? Amazon is kind of the destination for that, and we've gotten around a lot of other things like building trust on websites and things like that. It's the same thing with ads. We've tuned out the ads. We've tuned out going to random websites for a random product and giving them our credit card info. Like, oh no, I just know where I'm going to get that thing. I'm going to go to Amazon if I'm going to buy it. If I feel kind of sketch about it and it's super cheap, yeah, that's where I'm going. So if that's really where you want to live, know that all those problems that I listed above are still happening. Those didn't go away so much, but you do have that layer that's kind of helping you with some of the friction you might be facing on getting people to your storefront. Amazon FBA is also amazing if you can front some of the money and order some quantities to be held at Amazon facilities so that you're eligible for Prime. That's even better. I know you don't have to, and you can set up a drop shipping type of arrangement with Amazon as well. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I will leave a chapter marker. If you're just jumping ahead to the nutshell portion, here's what we learned in the video. Dropshipping, bad, wasteful. Better option, build a real brand. Do print on demand. That's a better option. But what if I don't care? Okay, do dropshipping, but do it on Amazon. That's going to make your life a lot easier than trying to do anything on your own site. Yeah, I think that's it. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Hit me up with your questions. I want this to be a dialogue. I feel like we could have a dialogue about this because I know there's going to be people that have success with dropshipping, but I think there's a lot more people that don't, and I'd like to hear both sides of it, even though it's not great. Yeah, let me know. This was fun. I need to go to bed now. It's quite late. So until next time, it is business as usual.